Welcome back, everybody. I'm Lauren Simonetti. Brian Hamilton with Sageworks joining us once again on set. We like having you on because you're so tuned into the small business community and the business community, for that matter.
Sure.
And we're talking about the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, as it's colloquially called.
Sure.
And there's been a delay in the implementation of that, now 2015. How is that affecting businesses?
Well, that's a big bad. There's no question about it.
A big bad, not just a bad.
Yeah, a massive bad. Here's why. You remember that big debate, right? It went on for about 2 years, and they passed the law. And then businesses look at the law and they say, okay, what does this mean for my bottom line? And then they plan. Now, what's happened is this is now being postponed for another year, so they don't know what's coming at them. And that's got to be the watchword for Washington. Even if your bill is bad, okay, good, bad, indifferent, whatever, get it out early. Let businesses know what the costs are, what it means for them, and then they can plan. They're very adaptive. So we've got more uncertainty, and I know you're probably tired of talking about it as well, but it's not good for businesses, and particularly for small businesses.
Well, the irony here is it seems like, the elections aside, that they delayed the Affordable Care Act, the implementation, as far as businesses are concerned, because they knew so many were confused.
Right.
So they said, let's spend an extra year adjusting to it, but now they're more confused.
Right. Well, everyone is, including Washington. You remember, that's a very complicated law. I mean, there's incredible amounts of paperwork to it. Businesses don't really know what it means for them yet. Even the people in Washington, you know, have the congressmen really read the bills? And do they know? So there's all this what's going to happen, and that is not good when businesses are looking forward, particularly with regard to hiring, and we want them to hire people.
It seems to me that larger businesses with bigger balance sheets and bigger budgets can hire a team of people to interpret the law and how they're supposed to obey it, and then find ways around it, right? Getting around the tax code, saving money, but it's expensive to do that. It seems to me that a smaller business with a smaller budget would say, just tell us what we have to do.
Exactly.
And we'll do it, because we don't have the time or the money to figure out how to get around it. So just tell us what we need to do, and we'll listen.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know where to start here. We're going to go way back. But look,
anywhere you'd like.
You're right. The fourth year of recovery, right? Now, if you look back over 100 years, as economies recover, ours especially, people hire people. They're not doing it. And, you know, we want to blame Washington for everything, right? I mean, they're an easy target. Politicians are always an easy target. We want to go after them. But in this case, we really have to attribute some responsibility to Washington because, look, sales are up, margins are good, profits are up. Why are these people not hiring people? And by the way, there's been
We've been saying that for years, like you said.
Yeah, it's been going on forever. And frankly, I thought a year or 2 years ago, once we got through health care, businesses would hire people. So I was wrong. But the point is, these externalities, public policy, tax laws, you know, now we've got health care. Another year it goes out. There are 27 million businesses in the country, and they are looking at their bottom lines. They're going out a year. They've got credit card debt. Unfortunately, they've got you know, kids in school, car loans, mortgages. Their bottom line is what they use to eat. You know, it's not like a dividend type of thing, like for a big company. And so when you affect their bottom line, or they don't know what's going to happen, they're going to get cautious, and they're going to get cautious on their single biggest expense, which is people. And by the way, they're also not borrowing a lot of money right now, so they are overhead reluctant. And we want them to look to the future and say, hey, look, revenues are up, I'm feeling good, I want to hire people and borrow money. But they're not doing that.
And that's a risk.
It's a big risk to everyone. And by the way, one other thing, I mean, I don't want to end on a negative note here, but look, we're 4 years into a real recovery. There's no doubt about it. We can debate the strength of the recovery, but it's there. But remember, we're at 7.6 unemployment into the fourth year of recovery. The average recovery period in the U.S. is 4 years. So if this keeps getting extended and we go into another recession, which, you know, data would imply, you know, that's coming around the corner maybe a year or two from now.
Another recession?
Oh, sure. I mean, we're 4 years into a recovery. So if we're at 7.6 now, what does it look like if we hit a blip? You know, and that goes up to 10% again? That's no good. So, you know.
What are the chances of that happening?
Well, here's what's going on. these private companies, and there's 26, 27 million of them, are growing. The profits are good. Things are good today. But we know that we live in a cyclical economy. There's no doubt about it. So the party doesn't last forever.
Gotcha.
The average recovery period is about 4 years. I don't know when the next recession is. I don't want to say it's coming along.
No, I
but
hear
it
you.
will happen. So the key is we've got to get that unemployment rate from 7.6 down to 5 or 6 before we get hit again.
I know, and I know you said you didn't want to end on a negative, but I'm going to ensure that we do end on a negative. If you could just share with us the results of the survey asking small businesses if they expected to hire.
All right, well, that's a loaded question, but I've got to answer. So we survey business people all the time, and here's the noteworthy thing. Only 2% of businesses that have been surveyed say, yes, we're going to be hiring people.
2%.
2.
Right.
50% are like, we don't know. 25% are no. But really, there's only a 2% group out there that's definitely going to hire people. And so at this point in the recovery, we would want that to be about 15 or 20%. So anyway,
a long way
I
to
wish
go.
I could say something better.
That's okay. Brian, thank you for coming on again. Great to see you.